More on Netanyahu's meeting with Republicans is CBS News congressional correspondent Nicole Killian. So, Nicole, what are you hearing about this, virtual meeting this morning?
Well, we know that the Prime Minister is set to address Senate Republicans in their conference lunch. This is something that we learned late yesterday, but it comes not long after another top Israeli official addressed House Republicans at their retreat. So, look, this is something that we expect to learn more about in terms of the content of the Prime Minister's remarks, but this does come at a very critical time, of course, with the Prime Minister just recently having a call with President Biden, and also just this broader issue of the path forward with respect to what is happening in Israel in terms of its war against Hamas. There has been more pressure coming from the U.S. and coming particularly from Democrats in Congress who are concerned about the path forward. That is something that was articulated late last week by leader Chuck Schumer, who called for new elections in the country. So it comes at a time not only of heightened tensions within the region itself, but also heightened political tensions between both the U.S. and Israel.
Let me ask you about something else. Senators will be getting a briefing today on security risks, including TikTok. Hopefully they take a special interest because they may be looking at legislation that would severely curtail or force TikTok to change its business practices. What are you hearing about this?
Well, again, this also comes on the heels of that House bill that passed that would require the Chinese parent company of TikTok, ByteDance, to divest if it is eventually taken up in the Senate. And so this really is now an opportunity, this briefing today, which was arranged on the part of both the Commerce committees and the Intelligence committees here in the Senate to get more information about TikTok, potential national security dangers that it may pose. There was a briefing for staffers yesterday, but this is likely to influence potentially the path forward for legislation in the Senate. Of course, there had already been some various bills and proposals around the issue of TikTok, but there is pressure on the chamber in light of the House vote last week for the Senate potentially to take some action. And again, we have seen on the part of TikTok, including the CEO who was up here on Capitol Hill lobbying heavily against that, hoping that this bill doesn't move forward. So we're hoping to read the tea leaves coming out of this briefing to see kind of what the path forward may be here in the Senate.
And then really quickly, I want to ask you about something else. Punchbowl reports that the White House and congressional leaders have agreed to issue 12,000 additional special immigrant visas for Afghan nationals. These, I presume, are individuals who helped U.S. forces and were kind of left stranded when U.S. forces pulled out in really rapidly. What more can you tell us about this?
Well, we hope that we will learn more as we've been discussing over the better course of this week. You know, a lot of this is part of that broader appropriations package that was a deal was reached in principle on some of those appropriations some time ago. Most of that contingent on DHS funding, which of course we reported yesterday a deal was reached on that front. So this visa issue is also part of a broader appropriations package contained more in the appropriations around the State Department, and we're hoping that we may see some of that text as soon as today. That certainly is the hope if it stands any chance of getting cleared before this March 22nd deadline, which is when government funding for these remaining appropriations bills is due to expire. Anne Marie.
All right, Nicole, thank you very much.